Hi, everybody. This is Paul Flint with the Mighty Drones on April 10th. Got some follow-up things to communicate to you. 2 weeks ago, I had an open meeting with anybody in the club who was interested to talk about our schedule for this summer. We talked about the frequency of flying as well as a number of other administrative topics. I'm going to go through all of that in a couple minutes. Of course, all of this has been impacted by coronavirus, and we have our stay-at-home order out until I think it was May 4th or May 5th, which means that we're not going to fly to that weekend, which I believe is May 9th. So that said, let's go into the meat of our schedule for this year. All right. So our season's going to kick off on May 9th. There are still restrictions out there now, of course, and if they continue, we'll see what we can do to get flying that weekend. If we have to stop separating people, David formulated a plan, and I will go over his plan at the end of this presentation. As for our field, we've got access to the field on weekends from Friday afternoon through Sunday. There's no flying at fields unless we have a field marshal present on the field, and right now those field marshals are Adib, Blake, Bob, Mitch, myself, and Robbie. Those people have volunteered, of course, this year, and they've also taken initiatives in the last seasons where they ran an event or scheduled it, and so that's pretty much how they got to be field marshals. If you're interested in being a field marshal, let me know. We're going to have our events scheduled every other week on the first and third Saturday of the month. That first Saturday of the month or weekend will reserve for non-point races, including UTTs and fun flies. The third Saturday or weekend of the month, and I say weekend if we can use that Sunday as a rain day, will be used for points or qualifying type events. Similar to last year, the same rule on specs for quads exists. You can fly anything up to 6S and or 6 inches. This is our targeted mix of events for the year. The non-point races, I'm hoping to have between 6 and 8 total. These are similar to a point race, meaning that they have heats and rounds and that we use a timing device. The fun flies, we're hoping to have 2 or 3 of those. These have no structure, no heats, no rounds. What we'll do is we'll just start the timer and it'll read off frequencies. If you will be assigned a frequency when you sign up for it, and then when that frequency is open, you can go to the field and fly a pack. MGP qualifier, we'll have 2 of these. MGP or multi-GP designates a course for this, similar to points races or non-point races. There's structures with heats. Your results from this is sent to multi-GP for qualification for the championship. The leads on this are going to be Mitch and Bob. Point races, we hope to have 5 of these based upon the amount of time we have in the season. We'll have 4 qualifiers with double elimination brackets and a final championship with possible prizes. These are also structured with heats and rounds and timed, and it culminates in that end-of-season championship. And since we'll have the field on Friday afternoons, some people have volunteered, one of which is Bob. I know there's 1 or 2 others. These people and probably many others may have opportunity to get out of work early on Friday. You can use the field at that point and run these ad hoc events. Ad hoc meaning that we probably won't talk about putting it on the schedule or have any structure or knowledge whether it's going to be just a fun fly or UTT, probably that day, if not no more than a day or 2 going into it. Race fees. This year, Ramsey County is going to charge us $61 every time we use the field. And every time means that if we go there on a Saturday, that's 1 time. If we go there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's the same $61 charge. With that, this is the proposed structure for payments for events. I'm trying to leverage the race fees that we've been, I should say the membership fees we've been taking in, and apply that to the $61. Little math that I did, for every $61, I can look to our membership fees, and we could take about 30 of our membership fees per event and apply that, which means we have another $30 we have to make up for it. That's going to come from the following. Fun flies. Current members are not going to pay anything. And of course, membership's $40 a year. Non-members are going to pay $5 for those fun flies. UTTs, usually an MGB course, and these typically have 5 or less gates. There's 1 or 2 exceptions. We've got more than that. Again, members pay $0. Non-members pay $5. Point races. Current members are going to pay $5. Non-members $10. Point races, $5 for members, or you can prepay $20 for all. Non-members $15. Qualifiers $10 for one, or $16 if you're a member. Non-members are going to be $20. Membership. Right now the club has got $980 in our PayPal account. These, of course, will be used to subsidize events throughout the summer. They're also going to be used to pay for some needed replacements of gear, such as our gates. The membership fee will remain, or in effect, the way it has been in the past, for 12 months. In order to fly at the field, regardless if you're a member or non-member, AMA is required. So what's our field look like? Well, last year we had 10 gates. Our poles are okay. Some of the material is damaged and needs repairs. We have plenty of the connectors that Bob printed for us last year that really worked out well. Bob, I advise that we need to inventory what we have. There's the suspicion or belief that we're going to need to replace some of the gate material. Nick has offered to go to the field and review what we have and document that and report back. The gates that we probably, as I mentioned, we're probably going to need to replace some gates. The cost for that is $140 plus for every 5, plus any shipping if there is. We run events. We're going to need time leaders. I've done that in the past. Adib and Mitch also said that they want to do that this year. I'm going to schedule training sessions for timing, and timing, of course, is using Lifetime, and anybody can attend that session. I'm also working with the Ramsey County Fairground to see if we can get some indoor storage. Last year we were, of course, had that outdoor storage facility that we had next to the Horseshoe Club. Somebody had asked whether or not we have a generator. Yes, last year, or if not the year before that, the club purchased a generator for about $500. Chad has been taking care of the care and feeding of that, and of course transporting it to events, and that's available for any of our events. We need to hold our spring biannual meeting, and of course elect officers. Last year we did that in person at Black Sheep Coffee. Because of limitations this year, it was recommended to use Zoom. I have got a Zoom account, and I paid extra to get the pro version, which allows us to host up to 100 people and go beyond 40 minutes, and that also includes polling, and we can use that. I like to recommend doing that. If somebody else feels differently, please let me know. I renewed our AMA field with AMA, of course. That includes our insurance, which is also required this year for Ramsey County Fairground. So I had requested to get a certificate of insurance made available to Ramsey County. One thing beyond flying that we like to do, or at least consider doing, is some type of community outreach at the field. We were considered, what can we do that may not involve a whole lot of money? And Adib recommended looking at some of the projects that Flight Test provides. It could very well be some type of RC, a fixed wing. They also have some of those whiteboard kits. Flight Test, you can look it up on the YouTube page. They did this at 1 or 2 conventions. People paid a couple bucks, and they called it a make and take. And Flight Test people, of course, provided glue guns and other materials needed to do that. That would be a great opportunity to reach out to the surrounding Maplewood community to introduce us to what we're doing, and maybe get people interested in how we're flying and what we're flying, and maybe join us as future members. IO's coming up, hopefully 6/24 to 6/28. As our tier two club, we get 2 tickets discounted at $60. If you need to buy tickets, let me know. I'll get those organized for you. I'm going to talk about some club sim events. I know we've had a lot of ad hoc ones going on. Adib and Jacob had some ideas on that. Robbie talked about possibly flying at Dean's Farm this year. That included all-day flying, then a barbecue, bonfire, and of course we get some FaceTime with Afton the Pig. Robbie will look into that and let us know. Sodbusters in Stillwater. Right now we can't fly in or at Ramsey County this year in July because of the July 4th weekend, which falls on a weekend for us to fly, and of course also the fair. I will see what we can do for flying at Sodbusters in Stillwater. For those long weekends, we're going to continue to hold events. If they fall into those, they will be non-points events. The idea, of course, is to get as many flying weekends as possible. So, Memorial Day, Labor Day fall on weekends, so we'll still structure things or at least schedule things on, Friday and Saturdays on those long weekends. And we had some suggestions. So Adiba put this together. So for prizes, as opposed for the club buying prizes, we can request members to donate things that they have: frames, flight controllers, props, receivers, 3D printed parts. Adib will be the central point of contact with that. If there's anybody else that would like to get involved, please reach out to him. Prizes like this will help the club afford improvements like renting space to store equipment in the field, buying new gates, and acquiring big prizes for championships, as well as getting our members outfitted with the parts they needed. It's particularly new members. New members come in, and of course they're intimidated by the number of things they have to get. And if we've got things that we've been using that we know work, and if we can share those with those newer members or just people that can use them, I think it'd be really beneficial. Also from Adib, this is his recommendation, what we can do with the coronavirus update. The intention here is that if we have some type of soft get out of the house or no longer house arrest opportunity where people would still like to maintain some distance, this is his suggestion. So of course we continue to sign up for events like we do in the past. But what we'll do is we'll break it up into time slots, and each slot will be limited to 2 heats for 8 pilots total. Your slot will be for 1.5 hours. You'll arrive 15 minutes early to set up, and then we'll space out everybody 6 feet apart. Only share tables with people that you may already have intimate contact, like family members. There'll be 3 slots per event, and if you get there 15 minutes early and take the 15 minutes to pack up, that way we can limit it to 2 hours, and we can accommodate 24 pilots per event. Following social distance guidelines is not an option, regardless of opinion. This is very serious for a lot of people. Let's keep things civil and respect each other's space and get on with flying. What if the slots don't fill up? Well, on the day of the event, if there are spaces open, and you can fly from multiple slots that day. Let's be considerate and clean up the common surfaces that you touch to not spread germs. But what if that's not going to work, and what if you like to stay at home, or what if we're forced to stay at home? Well, the next recommendation is having some formal sim flying events. During a meeting's holding, as many of you would be aware, Hydra SPV has taken the operations with online Velocidrone. A Velocidrone is a sim. Adib will be training on how to run these races using Hydra Director System, and once everything is operational, hosting events for anyone who would like to attend. Frequency of the events will be determined based upon when it gets running and when or if we need to use it. The first step to prepare for running these races is to go to the Mighty Drones Discord page. The link is there. Feel free to join there, and we'll start our season once we have interest and once Adib has that up and running. So again, Adib's summary. Prizes are giving away. I'll let you read this. Okay. And that's all I've got over there. So I'm going to wrap this up pretty quickly. Again, thanks everybody for coming in and just checking in. If you have questions, of course, please post that. Ideally on our Facebook page. You can also, of course, do that directly if you like. Let's see if I have our information up here. Yeah. Um, our Facebook page is there. You could also drop me an email. I like the tagline "Fly with Us." I've been using that at our Stack Deck Brewing events. Anyway, all right, my friends, good catching up with you. Look forward to hopefully seeing you soon in person. If not, seeing you online on Velocidrone. Cheers. Bye bye.